What's up, Laker fans? Welcome into the LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Ryan, here with my brother Matthew. And after nearly 2 full years, the Lakers have done a transaction. We have traded D'Angelo Russell finally for Dorian, Finney Smith, and Shake Milton. Max Lewis is also part of the deal, and we gave 3 second-round picks to the Nets to complete this. I am personally excited but also sad. D'Lo, I was my favorite player when I was a teenager. Came back super excited, and then kind of just immediately wore out his welcome. Not like a personality. It never felt like we could fully unlock what we had to do with D'Lo here. But we'll save that to the end. We're getting a 3-and-D player who's having a career shooting year, which personally terrifies me. Anytime there's a shooter that's having a career year from the three, I'm going to assume that 20 points are immediately knocked off the percentage. But in spite of that, I'm personally pretty excited about this. I know a lot of Laker fans are either too excited, like they think this is like a game-changing move, or not, like are really down on the trade for some reason. So, Matt, in that little spectrum, where are you with this move? How do you think we have to replace D'Lo if we do? Just take it anywhere you want to go.
I'm right in the middle. It's a nice move, not a game changer. You're not the best team in the West now, but it's a nice move because you don't use any first round picks,
Yeah.
and it shows me that it's a nice move. You're not done yet. Dorian Finney-Smith, nice athletic wing, shooting 43% from three right now. Definitely going to be 31 by the end of the year because of the Laker curse. But I mean, D'Lo had to go,
Yeah.
and so you get rid of D'Lo without trading any first round picks, so you're still in the center market with Jonas, Laurie, whoever, and then you pick up a 3-and-D wing, kind of, I mean, exactly what the Lakers need, and then you get a guard in Shake Milton who hopefully can produce better than Gabe Vincent. So it's kind of just a win-win all around. You get a couple of nice players, you move on from D'Lo, which you know you had to do, and you don't waste any first round picks so that you can still, make the bigger move that could then maybe propel you into like the upper echelon of the Western Conference Western Conference. And right now you sit in the fifth seed. Hopefully these guys can help stabilize us because for me the goal is to just stay in that four, maybe pushing it, but from that 4 to 6 range. Stay in there, be a consistent team that's going to make the playoffs. Then you make the big move down the road, hopefully, with those firsts that you keep. So yeah, like you said, right in the middle. It's not a terrible trade. It's not, oh my God, like the Lakers are so back. It's right in the middle there. And to me, what my mind went to, and I guess I'll ask you, what does the starting lineup look now with Shake Milton and DFS?
Yeah, I think that's the big question, the big immediate question. I've gone back and forth, honestly. Like I've fully gone into both sides. My initial thought was DFS should start because it adds more balance, like just defensive presence, and he can still spot up shoot the same way Rui can. But that also, like, my next thought was that puts even more playmaking pressure on Reeves and LeBron, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's probably even better. But Rui's self creation is still very important for that lineup, just because you have an outlet to kind of put up his patented late clock shot, or just be able to attack a player. Dorian Finney-Smith is not doing that. We don't want him to do that. So I think it's tough to break up a starting lineup that's kind of found its groove. So I'm leaning towards keeping it the same. But at the same time, now with D'Lo gone, the one thing he was able to provide most of the time was bench scoring, which is, we're not the Knicks. We're not able to play five guys and have them score 120 points a game. We have to have more balanced scoring, especially when like just guys have off days, especially our big two. So Rui on the bench, I think, would really help stabilize that. So I'm genuinely still kind of going back and forth. I think I want to keep it the same, and then if it seems like we really need a change, obviously do it. And the one thing I'm happy about is that we know JJ Redick will change it if we need to. We're not going to have to worry about playing 30 games with a bad lineup as some former coaches would have had it. So right now I'm leaning towards keeping it the same, but I was very heavily considering putting DFS in the lineup too.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I were to predict what Redick's going to do, I think he will keep it the same because you don't want to break that out, put Rui to the bench. But I do like the idea of Rui to the bench, and I think I don't know if we'll get into it in this video, but there's obviously going to be that second move. Hopefully,
Yeah,
otherwise, what was the point? And I can see like a potential for this team to have like a pretty good bench unit, which it is exciting. And I think if maybe we make that second move, then you can move Rui to the bench, kind of stabilize that second unit with Connect, and then maybe Vando is alive. And I mean, it's really exciting, but it is intriguing the idea of Christie and DFS kind of like athletic wings shooting it well.
yeah,
I mean, what does that defense? What does the defense look with that unit and LeBron, AD, Reeves? I mean, it is it is interesting. Maybe based on the matchup. I mean, and the NBA they don't do that. For this matchup, you're going to start. That matchup, you're going to start. But it
yeah,
is interesting. I'm really looking forward to see how DFS plays out as an on-ball wing defender because that's kind of something we just don't have at all.
yeah,
And Rui just doesn't have the foot speed for that. So yeah, I think for sure though that one thing we do know is that I think he'll keep it the same with Rui, and then 10 games down the road, if we need that adjustment, maybe put DFS in. I think he'll make that trade. But honestly, whether it's DFS, whether it's Rui, I'm not mad either way. Both lineups, I think I'm good with.
yeah. So kind of transitioning because there's not really much to say about DFS as a fit. He's exactly what we've been looking for, at least archetype. I think it makes Vando that much more important because we've gone from a team with potential to be like a passable defense, which we've seen actually they've been a top 10 defense in this little stretch. Max Christie is a huge part of that because his offensive production has really changed. Honestly, I kind of do think we should have focused on Christie a little bit. We don't have to because it's a different video, but his resurgence into being like a playable offensive player has really changed the way we were able to play on the floor. And it's I don't think it's a surprise that him re-entering the starting lineup and actually producing has been like we've been five, it's 8-6 or eight like six of our last 8 games we won 6-2 in the last 8. That's the way to actually say it. So with that balance, Vando, I almost hurts me to say his name because I loved him so much. Everyone did. That's why we're so excited to have him back. If he can come back in any meaningful way at any point before the playoffs, the defensive versatility we can have in a lineup that doesn't lose any shooting because DFS, his best thing, like he played almost the majority of his minutes at the 5 for the Nets, not because he is this like really slow plodding foot speed guy anymore. He doesn't have great foot speed, but it's because he could switch. And if you switch everything with a guy that could still shoot threes, like that changes a lot. If you have a lineup of Reeves, Braun, Vando, DFS, AD, that's massive. You could switch everything. Vando, we already play with guys that can't super shoot like Cam Reddish, and Cam Reddish has been used pretty well because there's actually structure to the offense. So realistically, I think the ceiling for this defense has kind of skyrocketed, even with just adding a pretty solid defender. That's all DFS is. But Vando is not currently alive in the sport of NBA basketball, so we have to fill other holes. D'Lo leaving has left some kind of hole as a backup one, just a ball handling presence. I don't think it's as important to replace that immediately as some people are thinking. I think he's organizing the offense a lot, which is real, but in the last like 15 games he's played over 25 minutes, like 4 or 5. I was just counting it right now. His play is diminished pretty badly. And was giving him minutes according to that play. Like he has a couple games where he's like under 20 and he was fully healthy. So he was a true bench player. I think having more reps with Reeves and LeBron and AD honestly as like initiating from the post or anywhere, you can get more minute or more on ball reps for Dalton. But I don't want him to create, but I think he's shown that he can make a pass out of the pick and roll. He can attack. Like he's more capable than we thought. So having those reps and also Shake Milton, not bad at it. He's not he's not going to be a game changer, but he's competent. So I think that's leading me into this question. Obviously, this cannot be the only move we make all season for the rest of the year. I don't think it's going to be the remove. So with the limited assets we have now, specifically contract assets, where are you focusing on like making one bigger move at a position, or are you still trying to like go multiple play? Like, what is your approach to the rest of the year, transaction wise?
I would prefer. a double, two guys. Obviously, everyone wants a center. It's so obvious you want a center.
Yeah.
My perfect trade. I mean, this what if I could ask for as a late Christmas gift would be a center and a guard. Just a guard like we're just talking about to provide a spark, offensively. And is there specific names out there? Well, yes, there's Kessler and Sexton. I'll just go out and say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I mean, really, that's kind of the dream is a center and a guard. Because if you get that, I mean, the lineup we in that scenario, honestly, I would start DFS, and then I mean, look at the bench, with Rui, and then this imaginary center and this imaginary guard that can score off the bench. You're looking good now. And then Vandal comes back, Christie continues to play well. That's my approach. I want to get two guys who can come in and contribute immediately and fill those two. We haven't talked about the center because I mean, there's nothing else to say. We need a
Yeah,
center,
we need a center.
and then like we were saying, filling kind of that D'Lo. Just it doesn't have to be a playmaker to just rack up assists, but someone who could provide an offensive spark.
Yeah.
And so there are guards out there like that. There are centers out there like that. So that's really my approach going into it. Try to get two positions in need. It may be a little bit hard, maybe unreasonable, but at the very least, maybe you can get one of those. But how about you?
Yeah. So you mentioned the two names that are my first choice by far. I will say with D'Lo gone, that's our biggest contract asset gone now too, because he was expiring, which is the most valuable, and he had the highest salary. So in a trade for Sexton and Kessler, I'm just gonna have them, especially because like Brogdon and Jonas, I wouldn't be mad at conceptually, but you have to stack even more salary. Brogdon's making more than Sexton. Valanciunas is making more than Kessler, like a lot more. So I don't like. To me, that's not an option realistically. So you would need Rui to be involved in any like combo deal like that. So I guess that's the question. We don't have to like get into it super deep, but realistically, the Lakers are gonna have to make a choice on Rui, and I don't think they're gonna want to get rid of him because I don't want to really move him. But he's making the most money, and no one's gonna take Vanderbilt's contract. So it's like it wouldn't even be worth trading him. You'd have to give up picks to get off his contract. So like stacking money, Max is not going anywhere. Gabe is obviously touchable. Rui is like the big impediment to all this. You can go him, JHS, and like Christian Wood to give some more money or whatever. Just like another minimum contract. You can get those guys, and but then you'd have like a completely different lineup. And I'm not opposed to it, but that's just a really big consideration. Like we'd be changing a lot about the team, and I don't think this is a team where you need to change everything to win. I know a lot of people, specifically pundits that are trying to get get visibility online, love to talk about how crap the Lakers are. Laker fans love doing that too, but specifically like this team is not a full blown contender at all. I'm not going to act like they are. But I'm also not going to act like they desperately need to change everything about the team to be able to contend. That's not what this is. We need more than just tiny margin moves, but if we fill in the gaps that we have, namely defensive backup center, I think we're a lot closer to contention than people think. So I think at the end of the day, if we came down to it, you told me I get to pull a trigger on Rui plus first and lifting the protection on the other Jazz pick for Sexton and Kessler, I probably would do it, honestly. But otherwise, we're kind of trapped a little bit. That'll do it for the trade discussion. DFS is a Laker. Shake Milton is a Laker. D'Lo, for the second time, has been traded to the Nets. I'm hoping they're available for the New Year's Eve game against the Cavs. I think that'll be a really big test. We're at home, so it's a little easier. LeBron's B40. Happy birthday, LeBron. Actually, we're filming this on his birthday. We're going to see. January has a chance to be there's a lot of things that can happen. January, we don't have 2 days of rest between any game. We have back-to-backs and every other day. So it's going to be a slog. But also, the schedule is, in terms of our matchups, is at a place where if we take advantage of it, we could be rolling into the break. So huge month coming up. We'll be back with some more. Thanks for watching. Go Lakers.